Hey everyone, it's Mugeet. Let's talk about something that almost every normal person in 2026 has felt at some point. That moment when you look at your bank account and think, I just need to save $1,000. That's it, $1,000. A little buffer, a safety net. Why is this so hard? You're not lazy. You're not bad with money. You're not broken. Saving your first $1,000 feels impossible right now. Harder than saving the next $5,000. Harder than the next $10,000. Harder than building any bigger number after that. And that feeling isn't just in your head. It's real. It's mathematical. It's psychological. And in 2026, with everything costing more and wages not keeping up, it's hitting more people than ever. I've been exactly where you are. I spent years telling myself, just save $1,000 and everything will feel better. But every time I got close, $300, $500, $700, something happened. A bill, a car repair, a medical thing, an impulse buy because I was stressed, and back to zero, or worse, into debt again. It felt like the universe was punishing me for trying. But here's what I learned the hard way. The first $1,000 is the hardest because you're fighting against gravity. After that, momentum starts working for you instead of against you. Today, I want to explain why that first $1,000 feels impossible in 2026, and why, once you cross it, saving the next amounts starts to feel almost easy. If you're stuck at zero, or you keep resetting back to zero, or you're just tired of feeling like saving is a punishment, stay with me. This is the video I wish someone had made for me years ago. Let me paint the picture of what trying to save $1,000 usually looks like for most people right now. You get paid. Let's say you bring home $4,000 to $5,000 a month after taxes, average for a lot of us in 2026. Rent or mortgage takes $1,200 to $2,000. Groceries are $500 to $800 because food prices are still high. Utilities, phone, internet, transport, another $400 to $600. Car payment or insurance, maybe $300 to $500. Minimum debt payments on credit cards or loans, $200 to $500. By the time the essentials are paid, you have $500 to $1,500 left for everything else. Fun, clothes, eating out, emergencies, savings. You tell yourself, okay, I'm going to save $200 this month toward that $1,000 goal. But then life happens. A friend's birthday, you want to get them something nice. Your phone breaks, you need a new one. The car needs tires, $600. You get sick, doctor visit, meds, maybe miss a shift. Groceries run higher than expected because everything costs more. That $200 you plan to save, it disappears. You feel guilty. You feel like a failure. You tell yourself, next month for sure. Next month comes. Same story. After a few months like that, you start to believe saving $1,000 is impossible for someone like you. You start to think rich people are just born with better self-control or bigger paychecks. You start to accept that living paycheck to paycheck is normal. But here's the truth that took me years to see. The first $1,000 isn't hard because you're weak. It's hard because you have zero margin for error. When you have $0 saved, every single unexpected expense, even $50, forces you to borrow, use credit, or drain what little you have. When you have $1,000 saved, that same $50 expense doesn't touch your paycheck. You pay cash. You breathe. You keep going. The difference isn't the $1,000 itself. The difference is the margin, the breathing room, the safety. And in 2026, with rent up 20 to 30% in many cities, groceries up 25+%, insurance jumping, and wages barely moving, that margin is smaller than ever for normal people. Let me make this even clearer with the math most people don't talk about. Imagine you're trying to save $1,000 from $0.
You need 100% growth on zero. Every dollar you save is a 100% increase. But psychologically and practically, that first dollar feels huge because you have nothing to fall back on. Now imagine you already have $1,000 saved. Saving the next $1,000 is only a 100% increase on the first $1,000, but you already have a buffer. A $200 emergency doesn't wipe you out. A $50 impulse doesn't derail you. The next $1,000 feels easier because the pressure is lower, the stakes are lower, the fear is lower. Then, at $2,000, saving the next $1,000 is only a 50% increase on what you have. At $5,000, the next $1,000 is 20%. At $10,000, the next $1,000 is 10%. The percentage gets smaller, but more importantly, the emotional weight gets lighter. You're no longer fighting for survival, you're building. That's why the first $1,000 is the hardest. It's the 100% jump from zero margin to some margin. Everything after that is just adding to a foundation that already exists. But in 2026, there are extra reasons why that first $1,000 feels impossible for so many people. Inflation is still sticky. Rent, food, gas, insurance, all the things you can't cut keep rising faster than most salaries. A lot of people are carrying debt. Credit cards at 20, 25%, BNPL stacking up, car loans, student loans, minimum payments eat into what could be savings. Emergencies hit hard when you have no buffer. One $400 car repair or medical bill sends you back to zero or worse, into more debt. And the mental load is huge. When you're stressed about money all the time, your brain goes into survival mode. You make worse decisions, you impulse buy to feel better for 5 minutes, you avoid looking at the numbers because it hurts. All of that makes saving the first $1,000 feel like climbing a mountain with no gear, while the mountain keeps getting taller. I know because I lived it for years. I would save $200, feel proud for a week, then a bill would hit and wipe it out. I would save $400, then my phone would break and I'd need a new one. I would save $700, then feel so stressed I'd spend $300 on something nice just to feel normal for a day. Each time I reset to zero, the voice in my head got louder. You'll never have savings. This is just who you are. That voice wasn't true, but it felt true because every reset reinforced it. The turning point came when I stopped trying to save $1,000 all at once and started protecting whatever I had, even if it was only $50. I set up a tiny auto transfer, $25 per paycheck, to a separate high-yield savings account. I treated it like a bill. It came out first. I never saw it. Then I hunted leaks. I canceled one unused subscription, $15 per month. I cut delivery from twice a week to once, $40 per month. I stopped impulse buys on Amazon, $50 per month. That $25 plus $15 plus $40 plus $50 equaled $130 per month. In 2 months, I had $260. In 4 months, $520. In 8 months, $1,040. It wasn't fast, it wasn't sexy, but it was progress. And because I had that small buffer, when a $300 emergency hit, I paid cash instead of charging it. For the first time, I didn't go backward. That's when the feeling changed. Saving didn't feel impossible anymore. It felt inevitable. Here's the deeper reason the first $1,000 is so hard. Your brain treats zero as the baseline. When you have $0 saved, every dollar you add feels like a massive win, but every dollar you lose feels like a catastrophe. Psychologists call this loss aversion. Losing $100 hurts more than gaining $100 feels good. So when you're at $0, any setback, even $50, feels like proof you can't do it. But once you have $1,000, the stakes change. Losing $50 doesn't wipe you out, it's just a dip. You keep going. Momentum starts working for you instead of against you. In 2026, with costs higher and buffers smaller than ever, that momentum shift is even more powerful because most people never reach it. They stay at zero. They stay in the panic zone. They stay convinced saving is impossible. So how do you make that first $1,000 feel less impossible? You don't need to save $1,000 all at once. You need to make saving the default instead of the exception. Here's what worked for me and what I still use in 2026. First, protect a tiny amount automatically. $25, $50, $100 per paycheck, whatever you can do without feeling pain. Set it up the day you get paid so you never see it in checking. Second, hunt leaks ruthlessly, but only one or two at a time. Cancel one subscription, cut delivery in half, skip one impulse buy, redirect that money to your buffer. Third, give yourself permission to start small. $300 saved is progress. $500 is progress. Celebrate it. The goal isn't perfection, it's momentum. Fourth, build a micro buffer first, $500 to $1,000, before you attack big goals. That buffer stops the emergency to more debt cycle. It lets you breathe. It lets momentum begin. Once you have that first $1,000, the game changes completely. You stop living in fear of every bill. You stop avoiding your banking app. You stop feeling like a failure every month. You start sleeping better. You start having energy for things you actually care about. You start enjoying small things without guilt because you finally have proof you can do this. And proof is the most powerful thing in personal finance. Not motivation, not willpower, proof. The first $1,000 is the hardest because it's the proof you need that saving is possible for you. After that, it's just adding to something that already exists. The next $1,000 is easier. The next $5,000 is easier. The next $10,000 feels almost automatic, not because the numbers get smaller, but because the emotional weight gets lighter. So if you're sitting there right now with $0 saved, or $200 that keeps disappearing, or $700 that feels like it's mocking you, hear this. You're not broken. The first $1,000 is supposed to feel impossible, but it's not impossible. It's just the hardest part. Start stupidly small. Protect $25. Cut one leak. Redirect it. Watch what happens over the next 30 to 60 days. You won't be a millionaire, but you'll have something most people never get. Proof that you can build something real. If this video gave you even a spark of hope, drop a like. Comment below, I'm starting with $25 this week, or my first goal is X dollars. I read every single one. Subscribe if you want more real talk videos that help normal people get unstuck in 2026. Thanks for watching all the way through. You're not behind, you're just at the hardest part. Let's keep going. I'll see you in the next one.